Hello and welcome to my channel. Age is just a number and my name is Barbara Jean. This is a channel for women over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70 and beyond who have a love of fashion and beauty. And this, we're going to say it's about beauty, but there's some other stuff thrown into this video as well too. So if this is a channel you think that you might like and you haven't considered or you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It means the world to me. I'm trying to boost my subscribership up there. Leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I will reach out and comment right back to you. So ladies, today I'm going to do a little get ready with me, showing you this look that I got with a new Colourpop palette that I got called Off Melrose. And I'm going to do a little chit chat of about what this last week has been here in North Texas, and some of the adventures and some of the challenges that we had. So if you want to listen to my ramblings of what went on here in Texas in the week of the winter storm and see a little makeup, stay tuned and we'll get started on it right away. All right, so let's get started. All I have is just done my morning skincare and Milani Rose Butter. Yeah, that's what it's called. Sitting on, I'm sorry, I guess I could have showed it to you. I love this stuff. I have several of them. Keep one in here and then one in my bathroom. So, what was I saying? We're going to get started. I've just done moisturizer and serums and all that stuff. So let's start with some primer. And I'm going to use, and like always, like I said before, always figure out what your foundation that you're using is. Is it water-based? Is it silicone-based? And that way you know the type of primer that you need for that foundation for it to play the best and last longer. So I'm going to be using the Soft Focus Glow Drops from Rodile. I love this stuff. This is a very, very nice primer. And I put this up, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap, but I put it up to Guerlain's Meteorite palette, Meteorite primer. So anytime. So this is actually a quite lovely primer. So I'm just going to take a little bit. On my face. And in the morning when I do my skincare, when I do the oils especially, I always do the lymphatic drainage. You know, just pushing all that stuff out. You know, it's always good. You can sit there and do this while you're having coffee in the morning too. I know a lot of you ladies that do the Mask Monday and you have those rollers, and that's what those rollers were intended for, was for the lymphatic drainage. So you're just pushing it cleaning out that lymphatic system. So, you know, and do a little bit of this on there. So, all right, so, but I've already done that, so I just did another round of it. So that's going to be there. So before, I'm going to let this sit. I like to set my layers sit for a little bit each time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to, where is it? I'm going to use today the, this is Wet n Wild Photo Focus Rose Eyeshadow Primer. So while my primer is sitting on my face and doing its thing and settling in and getting nice and cozy and comfortable, I'm going to get out a little drop, share it between two fingers. Sharing is good. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that on my eyelids, because my eyelids are really nice and moisturized right now. So I'm going to put this on there and let that sit. All right. So the foundation I'm going to be using today is my Air Flash from Dior. A little spray can, and I'm going to see if I can bring you, I don't know if I can bring you in closer. Hold on, let's see. All right. And did you see my shirt? This shirt that I got, isn't this cool? This is by INC. It's a 3/4 length. It's like a light heather gray with these sequin stars on it. And I got this at Clothes Mentor. And INC is a brand, it's a house brand from Macy's. But if you can see it, I paid $11, and then of course I got 20% off of that with my coupon. So this is just comfy. It's a, you know, I'm infatuated with stars. And then while I'm on the subject, and while this is still sitting here, I'll show you something else I got there. These are so stinking cool. These are Levi jeans, and they're the black faded. But look what's on the side of them. Aren't these cool? And these were $14 before the discount coupon. All right, so I can't wait to style those. All right, so let's get on with this foundation here. And I'm going to be using my favorite foundation brush, the Artist, and this is the big boy, the big bad boy, number 10. So what I like to do is never put this on when you're wearing black, because you know what foundation does to black. It does not come out. All right, I just spray some on my face like that. I don't do it like a, no. And then I just take my brush. I don't know if you can see how smooth and quick this does. I might have got a little bit too much, but spread it around. But it just goes on so effortlessly with this brush. Now, if you were using a sponge, would you still be doing it? And I'm done. I am done. So, that's the foundation with this and with this bad boy. All right, so I've got foundation on, and I have got, where did it go? Primer, and I've done my eyelid primer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take let's see, I'll use the Bye Bye Pores It Press Powder Foundation. And I'm going to use this beautiful little brush here by Wayne Goss. And I forgot what it's called, but it's such a lovely, it's almost a flat. If I can hold it sideways. See that? Sideways. It's so soft. So what I do is I'm just going to tap into the powder. And I'm just going to lightly tap it all over. Okay, and then while I'm tapping and powdering, I'm going to set that eyeshadow primer as well too. All right, so now I forgot something. I'm going to be right back. Okay, so what I had to do is go dampen my sponge. And this is the Real Technique sponge. So I'm going to, I've just powdered lightly all over to set that foundation. So my next step is to use a setting spray, because I use a setting spray at the end, but I also do it at this point as well too. So what I'm going to do is just lightly spray all my area here. Okay, and that's the Max Fix Plus that I have. And that is my little travel size that I always take with me. Well, considering that we haven't been able to travel and this has been sitting there, I want to use it up because I've got a big one that I haven't opened yet. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and use this up, but then I'll still keep the bottle for later for when we do get to travel again. All right, so right before that goes completely dry, I like to just take my sponge and just tap that powdered foundation. And it makes a nice finish. All right, so there's that. Now I want to start off with the bronzer. And let me grab one. Let's see, oh, right here. I'll use the Tarte Park Avenue Princess. And does it have a color? I think just the Park Avenue Princess is the color. So with that, I'm going to use, where's it? I'm going to use this big boy here. This is the Sephora Pro number 50 Flawless Light Powder. And it's an oval, fluffy brush. Here's the side of it. Here's there. And you can also squeeze it to make it more if you want. So I'm going to go in, tap it off. Under the cheekbones. All right, created those nice little cheekbones. Or actually, I've got cheekbones. It just kind of makes them stand out a little bit. Then I'm going to kind of go around the edges of my face here. I called and left I sent a text to Lily, my hairstylist, and I'm like waiting. It's been 2 months, and I haven't have a lot of growth, so I need to get rid of my roots. I have no gray in there yet, but I've got darker brown roots to kind of mesh in with all of that. So, and I'm thinking as we get closer to spring too, maybe the next time, maybe I'll take out some of the deeper red and do more blonde in it for a lighter color look for the spring and summer. And that earring is about to fall out. Okay, yikes. Okay, I need a new back on that one. Okay. So there is the bronzer. So now I need a blush. So let's see, what can I use? Let's see. Oh, here's one. I'm going to pull out of one of my MAC palettes that I put together. I have about 6 of these to where they're, you could buy them directly from MAC and then you buy the individuals and put them in. And then I just created a little, I typed out a key on the back here to tell me which one is what. So let's go in with just this pretty basic pink right here. And that is going to be Pinch. It's called Pinch O Peach, which is more pink to me. So I'm going to get my little blush brush, my switch pan, kind of brush everything off. Oh, what was that? Okay. Go into that pink. Start putting it there and blending it up. And doing it there. Okay. So there's the blush. All right, so now what I'm going to do is before I put my highlighter on, I'm going to get my big fluffy powder brush when I can find it. Oh, here it is on the other side. This one here. And I'm just going to kind of just lightly kind of buff those in, the blush and that bronzer together a little bit. Okay. Now for a highlighter, what I'm going to use just real quickly here is this. My daughter had given this to me for Christmas, and this is a Revolution's Luminous Gold. It's a liquid highlighter. So it comes in a dropper. So I'm going to just put a touch on my finger, and then I'm going to lightly place it along the top of that blush line. I do not want to go into the wrinkles here under my eyes or on the side of my eyes, because that's just going to make them more prominent. So just very carefully, and I'm just going to tap those in. Okay, and let's do the other side as well real quick. You could actually, if you felt like you got a little bit too much on there, you could take your damp sponge and just tap it in, Just don't move it up into those wrinkles. Just be very careful. Target placement. All right. So there's that. And then if you want, while you've got this out, you might as well just, oops, I got a little bit too much. Take it off. You can just go down your nose, center of your nose a little bit. And then a little bit on your Cupid's bow. All right. So there's that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go off and I'm going to do my eyebrows real quick. And then, because that just takes me a little bit too long. And that's my most difficult part. So I'm going to go do that and then I'll come right back. All right. So we're going to be using this new palette. And this is Colourpop's Off Melrose Palette. I love the packaging on it. It's got a pretty little heart right here. There's a good shot of it. But the colors in here, there's no mirror in here. If you can see them, they're so pretty. And some I just really want to play with. And I'm thinking I'm going to use, let's see, to start with the transition shade, I think I'm going to go into this, it's called Boutique. And it's this one right here. I've got my switch pen ready, and I'm going to start working on this. And so I thought I would share a little bit about this last week, the adventures of a Texas winter of 2021. I was so excited, and you saw my video, that we got snow, which we don't get snow very often, so it's always very exciting, and it's so pretty to us. But our what we typically don't get are the cold temperatures either. So we really got extreme cold temperatures, and the power grid couldn't handle it. Now, they knew that this was coming because they were giving us a warning that, you know, a week and a half before that this was coming. So there's a lot of questions going on. The governor has even called into an investigation about it. So yeah, there's a lot of politicking going on about that, but we're not supposed to talk about that on YouTube, you know. So it left a lot of people in the dark. Some people got had no problems with power, and others did. I knew some people that were without power for 4 days. When we woke up, I'm thinking it was either Monday or Tuesday morning. The days kind of just ran together. It was, at one point, I know on my phone, it was -1. So, and the thing is, we had no power. I think the most that we were out was probably 12 hours, maybe. The saving grace for us was that we have a gas log fireplace in the living room. So I sat there with the Chihuahuas most of the time, trying to keep them warm and trying to keep warm. It did. I think the coldest it got in the house itself was 49 degrees. But I had my cuddle duds on under my sweats, 2 pair of socks under my Uggs. So I was able to use the gas cooktop and heat up some soup. I know I had a frozen lasagna in the oven, and as soon as the first time the power came back on, I turned that oven on to see if I could, get that cooked. Well, it didn't stay on long enough, so put that back in the freezer. I was so worried about the refrigerator, and I think I'd made a post on that when we had power because I was afraid to open the refrigerator for the food. We were very careful not to open the refrigerators unless we absolutely had to, and very quick to let the air in. So, but fortunately we didn't lose anything, but my main concern was my RA medicine, and it's extremely, insurance pays for it, but if I have to replace it, they're not going to. So, and there was, it's like $5,500 a month if I have to buy it without insurance, and I had 3 months worth in there, so that was a little on the scary side. So, but everything's fine. Everything was fine on that, so we were blessed with that. So, for some reason, our phones, we have on our cell phones, when we're home, we have it where it picks up the Wi-Fi, but when we're not, it picks up off the internet, well, or off the cell towers. We couldn't get any. We could get phone and texting on our phones in the house, but not internet when the Wi-Fi wasn't on. So we're not sure what happened with that, but that was kind of really weird. But played a lot of little games. Patrick did venture out. Patrick knows how to drive on the snow. He spent several years on a mountain in Korea, so he knows how to drive on the snow. I do not, and so I don't, therefore. And of course, as it goes on, it turns into ice as it refreezes every night as the people drive over it and da-da-da-da-da. So, all right, I'm going to, let's see. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go in with this little dark brown here and do kind of the outside. First, I'm just going to kind of go over that transition with a big fluffy and just kind of make sure that that's nice and smooth. So, but another thing was that what happened was we found out, I guess, the second morning that, all of Texas was affected. There was just not enough power to go around to everybody, so they started knocking out power to space it out. And they just kept telling us that they were going to do rolling power outages for 15 to 45 minutes. And then the next day they changed it. We're going to do rolling power outages 15 to 60 minutes. I never talked to anybody or heard anybody say that they had rolling outages for 15 to 45 or 60 minutes. It was hours upon hours upon hours. And then there were some that didn't have any blackout whatsoever. My son, who lives 5 minutes from me, never lost power one minute. But what it did do also, it got some of the water treatment plants. So they went without power. So that caused bacteria to get into the water system, which was not fun. And I didn't find out about it until it was too late. I always take a huge glass of water with me. Y'all have seen it here sometimes. Right now I'm just sticking to bottled water, but it's like 32 ounces, and I take that to bed with me every night. And because I wake up about every hour, and especially this time of year, if we do have heat and it's blowing, I just dry up. I need to get a humidifier. That's my next item to purchase, is a humidifier. But the water I didn't realize. So for days, I felt every morning when I woke up, I felt like I was pregnant. Oh my Lord. I mean, I was so nauseous, and other things to go with that. So basically, tea and Pepto-Bismol were my comforting friends in that fireplace. If I had felt better, I could have got a lot accomplished. I could have just bundled up and got a bunch of stuff done, but I didn't feel like it. So, but we made it through. Others had damage. We were very fortunate. My father was a plumber and pipe fitter, so he always taught us to, whenever there's a freeze warning, number one, make sure your faucets are covered outside, but do a little drip on your faucet inside, as well as open the cabinet doors underneath, to let whatever heat is in the house get to those pipes. So where we saw, because we live in a very large subdivision, mass community, planned community, I guess it was called. So we have a Facebook page for the neighborhood, and people were posting their pictures of their busted pipes and all their damage, and a lot of them were when their pipes were upstairs, like for upstairs bathrooms and upstairs laundry rooms and stuff. So, and the homes here were built in between middle 90s to middle 2000s. So probably the older ones, I think, were having the most problems. I know that one of my neighbors 2 houses down, she had, we saw a truck in front of hers, I guess it was Thursday morning, and it was a plumber. And our other neighbor said that they had, she had a busted pipe in her laundry room. So, yeah, it wasn't a fun week. Patrick did go out and, because I had no way of making coffee that very first morning, so he went out, because all the little convenience stores, the grocery stores, everything was closed. The grocery stores, there was nothing on the shelves that were open. So it's, valuable lesson of what you should have in case of an emergency in your home. And this was just a fluke. We never get this. It never gets this cold in Texas. So this was just a fluke, and it was out of our control. The power company, was doing this. I even saw one YouTuber, and I won't go into names. I don't even know what city she was in, but she was, saying that it was targeted to a certain financial district. Is that the word, financial? That people in affluent, which we're not, we're just in the average, average homes here, that they didn't lose their power. So, and I'm like, that's a crock of shit. So I didn't say a word. I just unsubscribed because I wasn't going to listen to it. Because as a realtor, I know the areas here, and I know the areas that I could go on and look and see who was having issues and who wasn't. Because I have a lot of my past clients are on Facebook, and a lot of people were just reporting what was going on in their areas. And yeah, there were $1 million homes here that had outages for 4 days. So you can't tell me that they just were targeting a specific demographic financial area. My son has his first home, and it's, you know, it's the basic entrance, you know, home. And he had no problems in 5 minutes from here. Yet everybody in, but we had a couple blocks away, some people in this neighborhood didn't have any problems. So it was just, yeah, it wasn't a good week. But we made it through it, and that's the thing. We made it through there. You know, we watched when we did have power, we would turn the weather on and see if we could find out, you know, what was going on in the news. There's only certain channels of news that I'll even listen to. So I tried to just stick with those and try and get it on my phone going directly to their channels. But there were some, but yeah, I saw some good things too. Close to where my son lives, there is an Ace Hardware, which is a small, like I think of Home Depot, but just on a small scale, maybe 25% of that. And they're usually in little neighborhoods. And they had pallets. You know, they get things in when things are delivered. They're delivered on wood pallets. They had a whole bunch of them. And so they started taking them apart and giving out that wood to people there. They also had lots of cases of bottled water. So they were giving that out to people. They got one of their grills out and just did hot dogs and were feeding people. I mean, and this is the little neighborhood store. So there is good that comes out of some of these, and you can see that. And you know, I think about it, it's like, you know, that's a place that I really want to, you know, go when I need something, and that from something like that, that's where I would go to give back, you know, to show them support for, and especially tell them what they did. I thought was very nice. So there is good things going on. A lot of people had to get hotels because there was, you know, they had no power. My son works for the sheriff's department, and it was very bad downtown Fort Worth. So he had told me that they had an anonymous donor who said that he would cover any of the police officers and sheriff's departments hotel bills that were displaced because of the storm and stuff, and that was a blessing to a lot of those. And so that is there is good in people. There is still good. So, and you see in the worst of times when the good comes out, and that's some of the stuff I'd like to focus on. So, all right, I'm going to go in this color. I've done just this and this, but I want to see what this is. Kind of a what is this? It's kind of a purpley brown. So I'm going to play with this here a little bit and just see what comes out of it, if anything. Okay, that's not bad. But let's see. But Thursday afternoon, oh my God, I hadn't been out of the house since Saturday. And Patrick had been out a little bit each day. And so I said, please take me with you. So we went, and I went and checked my mailbox. And we went to a couple of stores. Wasn't a whole lot on the store, but we did get a few things. When we went into Walmart, they were delivering, they got a bunch of fresh produce. And they had meat. And lots of chicken. They had beef, everything. This is Thursday, so there were no sodas and no chips. I mean, those two aisles were completely gone. And we're talking to my son, and he said, why did they take all that? And I said, well, they sit around and eat junk food all day. So that's what they want. For the majority of the people, I think it's just like they're sitting there, they're bored, and yeah, the junk food goes first. So I'd wished I had stocked up on some of my favorite popcorn, but I didn't. So I was just happy to have Progresso and Campbell's soup. And then a few leftovers that we had had. I did have, and I didn't realize till a couple of 2 days in, I had cold brew coffee in the refrigerator. So I was able to take that and pour it in a little saucepan and heat it the on the gas cooktop and have coffee. So that was kind of nice right there. All right, so this isn't, it's pretty, it's very sheer, so this is not showing up. So I'm going to try and go in with my little finger here. It's kind of iridescent. Let's see if I can get a little bit more on that. Yeah, but it was just crazy. I mean, even people in Houston were experiencing difficult and damage. It's just something that we don't have preparedness for because we never have it. I mean, we don't have snow plows here. They would sit there in a field and deteriorate because they'd never get used. We have sand trucks and that's it. But you know, but the politicians are having a blast with it right now. So, all right, I'm going to go in with this little smudge brush. This is a Sonia Kashuk little pointed smudger. And I'm just going to go in with this other little brown right here. And just kind of put a little bit more definition here. And yeah, but you know, because I drank that water and I didn't feel good, I couldn't even come in here and play with makeup. I could have done that, but I just couldn't do it. So, but yesterday morning I still had to, I was still taking Pepto, but today I feel a whole lot better. So I thought I'd get in here and do this and chit chat. Fortunately, I had done some videos ahead of time and I was able to put those up whenever we had the power. And so another thing that I'm thinking of getting is a little solar powered cell phone charger. So, and if you have one, tell me which one you have. I'd like to know because that's something. And if you have a humidifier and you like it and you're very pleased with it, tell me which one you have. So, but several mornings I went out into the back and I was throwing bird seed out for the birds because I know they had to be hungry and cold as well too. Chico has always refused to wear a coat or a sweater. But June, I put his on her and she wore it. She didn't like it at first, but I think she kind of got used to it really quick like. They just wanted to be held and be, you know, under blankets and stuff, which didn't have a problem with. And give them their chicken and they're fine. So, All right. Trying to get through this here. Let's see. I know that there are other states too. Arkansas got hit, as well as Louisiana. Shreveport was really cold. Well, too. I mean, we just don't see temperatures down, to -1 here. It's just something. It gets hot in the summer here, and we'll have, so many days straight, over 100 degrees, but we deal with that. We know that's what we expect. So it's a lot of places just canceled because they didn't have power. Businesses closed. You can go down the street, Parrot said, and there would just be everybody closed. McDonald's was closed, the one by us, because we passed it when we went to the store, and they didn't open back up until Friday, till yesterday. So, yeah. All right, I'm just rubbing this under that light brown, under here a little bit. All right, I'm going to go in with this pretty little color here, cream colored. God, these names are so little. Angelino. Okay, this little cream right here. Nope. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go in with the other one. And this one is Trading Post. It's more of just a slightly pink one right here. And I'm going to go in under the brow a bit. All right, and let's see. That color is still just not showing up too much. So let's see if I can combine those two a little bit on my finger. I don't know. And bring that, let's try a little bit more of that. All right. And bringing that in just a little bit more. Where is this one here? Let's see, that one is just... But I'm so glad. It got up to 45 yesterday, and it's going to get up to 50 today. So we're thawing out. We still got snow in the shady places. But with the temperatures today, it won't be too bad. So, but like I said, we were blessed. So, and we had it better than some. Worse than some, but better than some as well too. So, all right, so there is that. I'm going to put on some eyeliner and some mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, so all done. So, got some mascara on. I use the Lancome, their new mascara. And to see, first I primed with Essence Volume, mascara. It's white, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not. Okay. And then on my lips, I just lined with Milani's Color Statement Lip Liner in Nude. And then I brought out an old favorite, MAC lipstick to put on top, which is Call Me, hold on. Yeah, call the hairdresser. And it's just a beautiful color, kind of a warm pink. I'm going to call it a warm pink. And so there's that. So here is the finished look. So with this little palette here, Colourpop Off Melrose. I'm trying to get the cardboard thing back in, and oh, I wonder why is it not bent. Okay, here we go. Colourpop. Let's see, Off Melrose Palette. So, all right, so there is that. And thank you for letting me vent a little bit about this last week. It was definitely an adventure. And thank you. I got people reached out and were checking on me and everything. So I appreciate that so much. So, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. We made it through it, and we are truly blessed. And I feel blessed to have my friends here in you, here on in our virtual social media world. I love it. So thank you so much for coming and spending a little bit of your time with me and listening to me ramble for a little bit and play with a little bit of makeup with you. So I'm going to take this off now and go do some other stuff. So remember, ladies, what I tell you every single day, except I didn't do this last week because I wasn't feeling good. But dire circumstances. But anyway, every single day, ladies, get up and show up because you are worth it. So until I see you in my next video, have a very, very safe and blessed day. And stay warm.